Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jason Leeser, and you are watching the Skill Building Sunday Drawing Group here on the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. It is July 24th at 1 p.m. sharp. And if this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and in the chat area so that way we know that everything's coming through clearly, and you can hear me and you can see me and everything is good. And welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, where tattooers, apprentices, and collectors, and the curious are all encouraged to join in these live streams, real-world events, to share and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day, and with your help have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows that have all been receiving rave reviews. You can find us on both the app stores, the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. You can also find us on YouTube and Facebook. You can even catch some of these replays on the Roku channel, reinventingthetattoo.com/Roku. Or you can listen to the podcast in all the usual places, such as Apple or Spotify. As always, you can always get the latest event schedule and notifications so that you don't miss your favorite shows like this, all at reinventingthetattoo.com, which actually links out to everywhere. So if you're trying to find, say, Reinventing 24/7, which is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week rebroadcast of a lot of these shows, you can find that by going to reinventingthetattoo.com. We have a number of staple weekly shows that we always ask people to tune into as well. Obviously, starting on Sundays at 1 p.m. with me, Jason Leeser, which is directly followed on Mondays at 9 a.m. with Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom, where we go through and we discuss some basic drawing techniques and strategies to help us become better artists. That's followed on Mondays at 11 a.m. with the Tattoo Weekly broadcast, hosted by Lauren Gregory, Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network, and Gabe Ripley from Tattoo Now. That's followed on Mondays at 5 p.m. by Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripple. I think we're on episode 4 coming up this week. Maybe it's 5, I forget. Where we go through and we talk about some of the challenges and some of the feelings that we have as tattooers that are often unaddressed. And that's followed on Mondays at 9 p.m. with a subscriber exclusive drawing group led by Guy Aitchison, where you can sit down and go through and work on drawings in specific sections of the Reinventing the Tattoo canon live with Guy as we're doing it. I know that alone for me has been an enormous help in just advancing my own artistic abilities. Highly recommend it for anyone out there that might be interested. And it comes complete with the Reinventing the Tattoo canon subscription. All of that's followed on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. with Ricardo Sertivant, very good friend of mine, extremely talented artist, one hell of a tattooer. Highly recommend you check that out. I usually try to beam in on Tuesday mornings with Ricardo. That's followed on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. with the Tattoo Now show, where we go through and we discuss some of the basic business aspects behind tattooing. Can be really, really beneficial if you wanted to go through and maybe brush up on a few marketing strategies, or maybe you've got a question about advertising or how to get better artists into your studio. Definitely take a look and tune into the Tattoo Now show on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. That's followed on Thursdays at 6 p.m. with the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast, hosted by Fawn Baker and Jordan Ruckus. We also have a couple of real world events coming up at the end of this month, July 29th, so that's next weekend, through the 31st. Reinventing the Tattoo will be live at the Rubber City Tattoo Invitational in Akron, Ohio, with Tony Urbanic, master machine builder, and all around super awesome dude. And rumor has it they will be hosting the first ever Tattoo Machine Olympics live at the Rubber City Tattoo Invitational in Akron, Ohio. So that's definitely going to be something you don't want to miss. Would like to go through and take a second to thank some of our sponsors and some of the people that make all of this happen, starting with Raw Pigments, an ink company that's tapping into the source, rawpigments.co. These are powder based. They are heavy metal free. They are acrylic free and vegan friendly. And they saturate the skin like no other tattoo pigment I have ever used. And I've probably used all of them at some point. These go in one time, super solid, super saturated, super vibrant, and they stay that way. That leads to better and easier healing throughout the whole tattoo process and more vibrant colors that last a lot longer. So take a look at rawpigments.co. Next, we have worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. And they're constantly keeping it up to date as conventions and events are still getting rescheduled like crazy. So you're definitely going to want to take a look at worldtattooevents.com for the most up-to-date convention and event information. Next, we have D-Lies Pro, also known as Dermalize in the rest of the world. Protect your art. If you're still using plastic wrap to wrap up your tattoos after you're finished, maybe it's time to step your game up. Take a look, do a quick Google search, take a look at YouTube. Tons of tattooers all over the world are using it, and it's absolutely incredible the results they are getting. It's designed by wound care specialists. You cannot go wrong with D-Lies Pro. TattooNow.com, technology for tattooers. The leading edge in SEO and professional development for tattooers of all levels, and they're now accepting new clients. So if you're really trying to reach that clientele base that you really want to start to attract, or you're really trying to get clients in your chair that want to get the types of tattoos that you really want to do, reach out to TattooNow.com. Those are the guys. They're going to help you get it set up, and they're really going to help you drive and achieve the types of business that you want to achieve. They also have a number of different professional development videos and seminars that they offer, including a Black and Gray seminar by Bob Tyrell, lettering seminars by BJ Betts, and a whole bunch of other goodies as well. So take a look at TattooNow.com. Of course, this wouldn't be Reinventing the Tattoo without a very big personal and professional thank you to Guy Aitchison, Guy, who you can find at guyaitchison.com. He is the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. Go to guyaitchison.com where you can pick up a copy of his Biomech Encyclopedia, some of his DVDs. He's got some custom tattoo coil machines for sale, some original oil paintings, fine art prints, and countless other goodies that you can all pick up at guyaitchison.com, the father and inspiration of Reinventing the Tattoo. Would also like to take a very quick second to say thank you to our two affiliates, the Fireside Tattoo Network and the Apprenticeship Diaries. Fireside Tattoo Network won't teach you how to tattoo, but they will help you tattoo better. Lots of great inspirational stuff on there. If you're just trying to break into tattooing, take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. There's tons of great apprenticeship information on there to help guide you in the right direction and keep you up to date as far as what you should be expecting. As always, we ask that you please post positive reviews on the channel. If you like this show and you like the content and what we discuss, please help us get the word out. Tell some of your friends and colleagues. Go tell some of your tattooer friends, because we all know that we have quite a vast network of tattoo artists as friends. So please let them know, help us grow, and welcome to the show. Also, if you would like to host a Reinventing the Tattoo event or become a sponsor of the Reinventing the Tattoo community, or maybe you're looking for an artistic critique on something you just completed, by all means, please send us an email at management@reinventingthetattoo.com. Awesome. Great. So now that we're done the intro, let me let a few people in. We've got Pat McKay with us and Seth Mushrush. Seth's a very good friend of mine. I've known about him and gotten to know him a little while over the past, Lord knows how many years. He was a great inspiration for me when I first got my feet wet as I was going through my first apprenticeship. He came through the studio and, did a guest spot and just blew me away with some of the stuff he was doing. So, Seth, welcome. Don't know if you can hear me or not. Doesn't look like he's joined the audio portion yet. And we're also joined by Pat. Hey, Pat, how's it going? And let me just check the YouTube and the Facebooks and all of the other social medias that we're currently broadcasting out to. And I hope everyone's hearing me okay and there's not too much of a lag, but actually I wanted to switch this over. There we go, that should be better. Awesome, great. Cool, and let me switch my camera. I'll show you guys what I'm working on today. It's kind of a continuation of what I was working on last week. So you guys can take a look at that. By all means, if anyone else wants to join in, please feel free to. Can I remove my tattoo? Was a comment just posted in the Facebook. Yes, you can. Have fun with that. I hear it hurts quite a bit. But I'm not very keen on that because I haven't removed any. So by all means, have fun with that. Can't say I would recommend it, but it's definitely a good way to go through and start fresh. I do have a couple of tattoos that I need to get removed, just so I can open up space for other artists, but that's a totally different story. Let me switch over to gallery mode, and we've got Ricardo Sertivant joining us today as well, along with Medusa. Looks like we've got a whole party in here today.
Fuck yeah.
And we've got Amber Morgaine joining us from New Jersey. Hey, Amber, you're over on the YouTube. What's up? What's up? I'm right over just outside Philadelphia. Let's get together and have a paint night. I would invite everyone else in the chat, but you guys don't really live that close.
If you want to pick me up, dude, I'm down.
I'll hop on my bicycle and be there in a few days.
Well, Medusa, I know you normally travel by broom. So, I mean, that's gotta be it. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty
much. Pat. I mean, Pat, we'll figure something out, man. Yeah. I'll make the trip. We'll get together. We'll do some painting.
I actually have a buddy up in Wilmington area, so I've been throwing around going up there because I also have some friends in Marlton as well.
Nice. Hell yeah, man. We'll make a whole event out of it.
I'm starting to reconsider my entire West Coast life because, like, everybody I'm meeting in the tattoo world is on the East Coast. Frick.
So that actually brings up a great
come on out to Illinois.
Yeah. Illinois is great. Like, there's tons of great tattooers out in Illinois. Like, this one guy I met named Ricardo. He's absolutely amazing.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah. You know, he's got hair and eyes.
Yeah, that's the guy that's always like, oh, I just whipped up this quick doodle and it's a fucking masterpiece.
It's like a Michelangelo, and it's like, dude, how did you do that in 4 minutes?
Yeah, what a dick.
Something like that would take me 8 years. We're not, dude, we're just being honest, man. You can pump out some of the most incredible work, like you're snapping your fingers, dude. I don't know how you do it.
Everybody wants a piece of Ricardo's artwork.
Everybody wants some.
I can't say I want a piece of Ricardo's artwork. I have 1 or 2 originals.
Nice.
So, I mean, yeah, not necessarily by choice, I think. I'm pretty sure it's just because he left them at my place when he came out to visit. But, you know, I mean, hey, I acquired them either way. Oh, I just picked up a new piece to add to my art collection. Just got it in the mail yesterday.
I saw on your Instagram. Oh my God, show us. Show the class.
Okay. I have to get it. So I got it for a steal. And I say a steal. It was still a couple $100, but To me, it's worth like 8 times more than that. And I'll actually throw the overhead camera on.
That's crazy.
Jason, I saw the post when this thing first went out, and I'm so glad that you got it.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, when I saw the one of the 2 artists that worked on it, because it is a collaborative painting. I hope that's clear enough for everyone.
Oh my God, it's so gorgeous.
So this is a collaborative painting done by Craig Driscoll and Guy Aitchison. And it's definitely original. Like you can see some of the paint textures on here if you look at it, where the light's reflecting differently off of, you know, the different colors. You can also see some of the different styles that were being used. You know, you've got a lot of like really brushy impasto textures from Guy's like area. A lot of very kind of like, not necessarily roughness, but there's definitely areas that were left intentionally vague. And then you've got a lot of the very smooth and vibrant characteristics that you see characteristic of Craig Driscoll. And it's definitely way bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I'm really happy about that. But I love the concept of it, and I love the way that they have this central light source that's very, very warm light with like these still almost like cool kind of like blues in here. I don't know how well it's translating on the camera, but I mean, just like that warm but cool kind of contrast, but it's still on the same like chromatic plane, if that makes any sense. You know, I love the way that it was done. Absolutely thrilled with it.
Consider me envious, my dude, and Kyle too. Nice camera angles
Yeah.
showing off yours.
Thanks. Yeah, I hung it there on purpose. And then I conveniently put my own right next to it.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
See, I'm a little different. I don't have any of my own original artwork hanging up at home.
I usually don't. This is the only one that I've put up. I have like one that I put in a like little plastic frame years ago, but other than that, I don't have it.
I have a couple of pieces of mine that I'm very proud of, just because, you know, you always got to like have a little winner up to remind yourself that, yeah, you can do great. And a couple of ones up that are horrific from, oh God, just a couple of years ago, but I hate them. But they're little reminders of I am improving. Anytime I beat myself up, I can see it and be all like, oh wait, no, I have come so far. I'm fine.
Well, yeah, and just try to always remember, Rome was not built in a day.
Well, it's
Right?
built in like
Things take time. I mean, unless Ricardo was building it, in that case, it probably would have been built in a day, and it would have been
4 minutes.
completely gorgeous.
You guys are some suckers.
Yeah, Ricardo would have been like, "Don't worry, I got this," and he would have put up like the Vatican and the Colosseum in like 8 hours.
I don't think
Fucking
he would
dumb.
say,
Completely
don't worry,
finished,
I got
completely
this.
gorgeous.
No, he'd be all like, I got this rough sketch of like what I
Yeah.
think it should look like. Maybe, you know, just
I built
bouncing
just a
off some
little miniature
ideas.
of it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
But
pretty
it's
sure
actually
Michelangelo. I'm pretty sure
Have you-
Michelangelo was working off of one of your rough sketches for
Mhm.
the Last Judgment.
It's
Have
true.
you guys seen this tattoo that I'm working on? It's pretty
No, let me
realistic.
spotlight you.
It didn't take me very long.
Oh,
It looks like
Hey,
a,
that's
isn't
That
it crazy
is,
looking?
dude. How did you get
Love
such
it.
depth?
Look at the
What
depth
area
on-
of the
on
body is
Marlin.
that on?
hey,
Oh
Just
my
see Marlin right here.
goodness.
Look at that. Isn't that crazy?
look at those blue tones in there too. Some good blues.
Oh man.
That's funny. That's funny. You guys are funny, man.
Hell yeah.
No, yeah, dude, I was really happy with that. What was it? The caterpillar that we did the other day? That was fun.
Oh yeah, dude. You crushed that.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now.
Yeah, if all goes well, I'm going to finish up this watercolor painting I started working on a couple weeks ago.
I need to get back into painting.
Yeah, so this is something I've been saving for like weekends just to kind of like decompress, which I think is really, really important that we all do that every now and then. Because if
What?
we don't decompress, from like working all the time and all that stuff, we're just going to go nuts and we're going to get burned out.
I've
I
been
thought
there
that
this
was
week.
just a normal way of life.
Well, it's either that or we substitute vast amounts of caffeine.
Ah,
Yeah. And that's usually what I do. But I found that like decompressing every now and then is actually apparently healthy. Not that I think there's such a thing as like, an actually like super, super healthy tattooer. But I mean, Ricardo's pretty healthy, so I can't really say that. But maybe that's why he works so fast.
it's because he gets up at 4 a.m. to run every day.
I mean, that'll do it.
Not just run.
Lift weights, have a protein shake, pre-workout, after workout.
Knocks out a full back piece before 7 a.m.,
All the good stuff.
Building a Vatican in the weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would only take him a weekend. Yeah, but this is just kind of like a weekend project. I've been spending any downtime I have at the studio getting a whole bunch of new designs together for the next show that I work at. And
What text come through on that? On here
Yeah.
now.
I'm pretty happy with the way that some of them are coming together. So I'm just going to keep doing that. My goal is to have like 25 or 30 brand new designs together before the next show. So I can print them all out on like one huge sheet of paper.
Start on the top. Cool.
I think you still got a Ricardo spotlighted.
Oh, do I?
Yeah. I've been doing jigsaw puzzles as a way to decompress. It's not art related, but sometimes you just gotta. It's nice because you don't have to be creative, but you can still be productive.
It's something that you can do that just kind of allows your mind to wander.
Yeah, very relaxing and everything. It's what I've been doing after getting home from work. Like in the mornings, I'll draw and everything, but at night to decompress, I don't want anything that requires, like, I want passive brain activity, not something that actually requires me to like come up with ideas. So jigsaw puzzling has been really helpful for me to decompress after work.
I think you actually touched on something that is something I've been struggling with a lot lately. And maybe I can get some help from other people out here and just see, what everyone else has to say. But I've been struggling a lot lately with inspiration, right? I've got the motivation, I've got the, I've got the drive going, I've got the momentum built up, and I'm trying to do more and like pump out more stuff. But like, I keep finding myself going back to like the same basic subject matter. So what, just out of curiosity, where do people go for a lot of their inspiration when they're trying to come up with new ideas for new art projects or new paintings, new drawings, new tattoo designs, or flash designs? Where are people going for that kind of stuff?
Old publications, old books.
Me personally, I look towards video games and that kind of artwork. I don't know. I find there's a lot of I like to make the more biomechanical kind of monstery stuff. So I like taking bits and pieces from different medias.
Okay.
Like here, check out this worm I'm working on.
Okay, what's happening here?
Let me spotlight you. Hold on.
So there's this game called Shadow of Colossus where if you can see in the bottom corner, there's like all these like monsters that are just like stone and wood and like grass kind of textures. So I've just been trying to throw a bit of that into this guy.
Nice.
Make it more monstery than wormy, I guess.
That's awesome, dude. I love that like stone and rock texture underneath it.
That is really fucking cool. Way to go, my dude.
Hell yeah, man.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, sir.
You ever hear of Scott Bramble?
Yeah. Yeah, I've met him a few times.
Yeah, he's really good dude. I met him at the Skin Industry convention years back, and his approach to finding inspiration is pretty wild. He finds old stories, and his painting, he paints like in almost like a flash sort of a way, like he's painting a scene. It's watercolor or a little bit of pencil mixed with it, but he's taking these old Midwestern folklore horror stories and things like that, and almost like the type of story that like Buster Scruggs was based off of, like those kind of things, and he's painting those. So he's finding these like super old obscure like folklore stories and then just taking something from that and painting those. I always thought that was pretty wild because his paintings, they stand out, and it's not just because of the way they're done, but it's a subject matter specifically. And when you sit and talk to him about it, he's got a story for each one. He'll tell you what each story is about. And it's pretty wild. And you can almost see in the picture, the artwork itself tells the story,
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
I've been getting a lot of inspiration lately from movies. Like last night, I just watched Fantastic Mr. Fox with a friend.
Fantastic, dude. I love that
It
movie.
is.
Wes
It's
Anderson.
so funny.
It's so good.
It's so full of so many quotable lines. But it's my first time seeing it sober, so it was like watching a whole new movie. But I watched that last night, and that was super fun. And now I want to do like a flash sheet of that. And the other night I watched Soul. That
That's a good
new,
one too.
so good. And I got a whole
Movie's
bunch of
fucking
ideas
amazing.
from that movie too. So lately for me, it's been movies.
Oh, okay.
Mine's all just been photographers, even.
Yeah, I've been trying to really expand off of just like my standard go-to subject matter. So like I've been, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the website 500px. It's basically a website for photographers to go through and like post up some of the, the better photography that they've done. And they've got some amazing photographs on there of like landscapes and scenery, human models, and like, any kind of position you can imagine, stock photographs of, landscapes and trees and nature and all types of fun stuff. So I've been perusing that, like hooked on that for a while.
That's good.
But like I'm trying to find, new concepts, right? New ideas, new twists on things. Like I've got a series of small little 3x5 ornamental hearts that I did that have like, they're all done with like glass based off of the last big painting I was working on. So the hearts in the middle are all glass. Some of them have like roses in the middle. Some have like big cherry blossom flowers that are done with like metallic filigree on the outside. There's different, different things filling them and, contained within them. So I've been using that, but it's like, I've already done so many of those. Like I kind of want to get off of that. So then I went back to the goldfish idea, and I was working on the goldfish idea for a while. Came up with a couple of really awesome new designs for that. And then I was like, okay, let's go back to the snake and Hanya, because that's like one of my go-to subject matters. Let me do that again. But these are all things that I find myself trying to work on more and more and more to get better at. But I'm always interested in trying to come up with and derive new concepts and new inspiration for new things.
What about combining a couple of the things you've been working and practicing on in one piece, finding a common?
So I have started doing that a little bit more, and just trying to throw different ideas together. Like, oh, in this one I have this and I have this.
Yeah.
Let's do a mashup. Right.
Yeah.
And that usually works out pretty well. But I try to keep, I'm trying to do a whole series of much smaller ideas like trying to stick to like 4x6 or smaller. Mostly just because I want to use these as like up for grabs designs it shows. So from
4x6 paintings of Ricardo.
You know, I've already done plenty of those. He's never seen them. But I have done plenty of those before. I actually had a model for a couple of them. But yeah, I've just always been into like a lot of floral stuff. So that's why I keep going back to like anything floral.
Yeah. Your flowers are on point, man. Watching you construct that mum a few weeks ago was pretty nice.
Yeah, mums to me are like some of the most interesting subject matters and some of the most complex. But when you break them down, they can actually be very, very, very simplistic. They're usually pretty. They appear pretty complex. Let me rephrase. They do. But once you break down their structures, man, they're just like they're some of the easiest things in the world to like draw and paint.
Yeah.
But I love mums because you can get them to move in any way that you want, right? You want to use them as gap filler, you can use them as gap filler. If you want to use them as, if you have like an awkward spot to fill up, throw a mum in there. Why not? Right? They don't have to be super big. You can do them kind of small. I mean, obviously, the smaller you go, the more simplistic they will be. But it's a great way to go through and fill some of those awkward little spots. So that, and I know how to spell the word chrysanthemum, which I don't know too many people that do know about mums. I don't know too many people that can actually spell the word chrysanthemum. So I like to think myself special for that.
Also pronounced
chrysanthemum.
Way to show off.
So who's got music going on in the background? Is that you, Seth?
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, I just don't want this to get flagged on YouTube for like copyright or anything like that.
Sorry, I didn't know if it was going to be audible to the mic or not.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Save me
You're
a couple
good.
button presses down the road.
Yeah. So Pat, what are you working on?
I'm working on that shark. I'm gonna have to pick up my iPad to show this.
Ooh, baby shark, doo doo doo.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't. No.
For well, Shark Week special stuff. I'm working on this. Right
Yo.
Oh yeah. I remember
Sick
you messaged
perspective,
me about
man.
that one.
Yeah. So it's all.
That's looking so cool, dude.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so much better than the pictures you messaged me.
Yeah, it goes a lot,
Like,
lot better.
It's even better when it's like right there.
Yeah.
See, I
I'm
really
working
like
on-
the way that you have a lot of movement and a lot of subject matter over on the bottom left, but you have like the right side pretty open.
Yeah.
I think
wanna
that's
have it all
really
be, like, background. I want to bring your eyes like to this area because this is all going to be pretty light.
right.
So I
That's
figure
gonna
with
be
like a
sick.
dark blue background and then doing like straight black from here, fading it out. And then it'll just bring your eyes over to the shark. He'll just be like, roar, I'm a fucking shark.
Hell yeah, dude.
But this is the first big canvas I've ever done like this. So it's definitely interesting to learn.
Yeah, working large scale can be kind of tricky.
Because this is all I'm using is these guys.
Oh my god.
Dear
Yeah, you've been there
Lord.
for a while.
We're
So-
laughing with you, not at you.
No, I know. I've been laughing at myself the whole time. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, did I bite off too much for some little dinky ass fucking brush markers? You know?
I'm in shock, dude. Like
The tenacity.
I mean,
So it's
it's going to be an achievement.
I just do these little areas and then I let them dry out and they end up turning out like this. And I go back in, I layer some more, but it takes, since it's canvas, it takes like fucking 36 hours to dry.
Yeah. Use a hair dryer.
Oh, that's a good idea. No, I just take it as a break where it's like, yeah, it's probably time for me to go do something else.
Yeah, it's like doing a glaze on an oil painting.
Yeah. I also, actually, I got started on this guy too. Just a little sketch so far.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, dude.
Cool.
Oh,
Let me show the reference.
jaguar?
I think it's a leopard. Tomato, potato.
It's a kitty cat. Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah,
I wanna pet
dude.
it. I love that little
yeah.
that little deer
Yeah,
antelope.
jaguar with an
thing.
antelope. Or actually, those spots are solid, so it would be more of a cheetah, if I'm correct.
No, it's not a cheetah. It's too bulky.
Yeah.
It might be a leopard because of the paws. Those paws
Yeah.
are pretty fucking beefy, like snow leopards.
Cheetahs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, make it a snow leopard. I would make it a snow leopard with like blood around the mouth.
Yeah, that would be sick. I'm still playing with this one, but up in the tree and fucking, we'll see how it goes.
Hell yeah, man.
Dig it, my dude.
Thank you.
Do you guys see that story of the guy trying to take the hook out of the lemon shark mouth, lost his pinky finger?
Yeah.
What?
Holy
Well,
crap.
I mean, come on now. You're using your hands to try to push a lemon shark out of the way.
Right?
Like you don't touch sharks unless you're willing to risk an appendage.
I'm willing
That
to
is
risk everything
Darwinism.
to cuddle a shark.
I mean, you can, but like, I want a tattoo for the next 80 years if I live that long. So like, I'm not willing to risk my hands for anything.
Right.
But okay, you might lose your hands, but for the next 80 years, you gotta tell people I cuddled a motherfucking shark.
I'm not saying that I'm not all about sharks, because one of my bucket list items is to go swimming with great whites off the Baja Peninsula,
and cuddle
where they have like world record sized sharks. Right? I want to go and I want to swim with sharks that would look at me and just say, I mean, he would make for a nice snack, but like, there's nothing there.
Did you see what's happening with the great whites in South Africa?
No, I did not.
Jumping ones. There are two. They narrowed it down to two orcas are hunting and killing great whites and eating their livers. Like, I mean,
just
like
their livers,
stalking them down. Yeah, they've driven large groups of great whites away from the coast because these two gangster orca whales are just wreaking havoc on all of them.
Endangered versus endangered. It's a showdown.
It's crazy.
I feel bad for the sharks though. What a waste. Just the liver, and then what do they do with the rest? I mean, I guess it's ecosystem food.
It's like Yojimbo of the ocean. They're just going at it. They're just
that reminds me. Have you ever heard the story of the Ghost in the Darkness about two man-eating lions out in Africa?
Yeah. Yes, and the real version of that story is those lions that were attacking all of the humans and going after the hospital. You know what I mean? And taking a week. Those lions were kicked out of their pride because they did not have their manes.
Oh.
They, for whatever reason, didn't have manes, or their manes never really grew in, so they weren't accepted by their own pride. So they kind of banded together. And
it's weird that they were kicked out and not just killed.
Crazy.
Man, nature be crazy.
Right?
Yep. And that is why I try not to piss off Mother Nature.
So it's actually pretty crazy since we're on the subject of sharks. I had a client hit me up and he's like, hey dude, I got a favor to ask you. Would you like share my sister's GoFundMe? She got attacked by a shark. And I guess it was like all over the news and shit. And I like brought up to my boss, like, my client reached out to me asking to promote this GoFundMe. Of course I'm going to do that. And he's like, yeah, I've been seeing it all over the news. That's your client's sister? I was like, yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Wow.
That's nuts, dude.
Shark attacks are so rare too. That's like
They're super
one
rare. She's about to like lose
a
her
million.
leg.
Frick, dude. That's insane. Yeah. Speaking of dangerous animals, I've got a friend who is a biologist and he breeds rattlesnakes.
Sick.
And I have made too many jokes about trying to come over and cuddle his rattlesnakes, and now he won't let me come over to his house.
I mean,
He
in his
doesn't think I'm
defense,
joking.
Medusa, in his defense, like you probably would try to cuddle with one.
I know.
You'd be like, no, I just want to cuddle with the baby one. And of
Like,
course, those are going to be the most venomous.
yeah. I'll go out doing what I love, cuddling animals.
So on the subject of dangerous animals, my what I brought up a couple weeks ago, if you don't mind, I'd like to get your guys' opinion on it.
Yeah.
I did one of my clients came in and had a line. I posted this on my website. They had a tattoo of a lion that already existed on their arm, and he was unhappy with it. And he wanted the contrast built up a little bit. It kind of, instead of it having a mane, it kind of had all these like swirls going around. And kind of looked like Fabio hair, sort of a thing. You know what I mean? Like kind of
Right.
all around. And there really wasn't a lot of contrast in the line or texture. And I said, well, we can build up the texture within it, and add some kind of like graphic qualities to the mane where it's not necessarily realistic, but adding these small lines and shading over them will create a little more kind of flow and give it more of a mane like of a look. Basically just trying to work with what he had. In order to build up the contrast in it, I went around the outside edge where any of the swirls had come off onto the top of the shoulder and went solid black with that, and then brought that into the face or into the mane. Used no solid black in the mane except for the outline. Used no solid black in the face when I was doing the fur. I was using, a mag to kind of tick the little edges of the fur up. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
Yeah, and I'm using a dark gray wash for that, and then I went back with a lighter gray wash and a larger mag grouping and shaded over to create, recreate the form.
Right.
Well, he sent a message to me the next day about how terribly unhappy he was with the tattoo, that it was going to cost him thousands of dollars to get lasered off. And he said, I posted a picture of it on Facebook of the before and after and just asked people which one they liked better. And everybody was shooting off that the second one, the one after I had worked on it, that it was just far too dark, and that in 10 years it's going to heal up to be nothing but a black blob on his arm. And he's completely beside himself. And I basically tried to talk him down off the ledge and say, hey man, look, I'm sorry if I missed the mark. I apologize, but you at least have to let this thing heal before you start, making decisions like this or contacting laser companies like and you're getting opinions from people that don't know the process. They don't know what I did. They're looking at this fresh photo of a tattoo that you asked me to go over, where it was, and I wasn't putting this back on him, but I'm like, you want to build up the contrast and the texture within this piece. I did so, at least to the best of my ability. And he's like, well, you didn't convey to me that it was going to be this dark on the outside edge. And I said, man, I felt like I told you we were going to have to go darker with it in order to get that look. And not only that, if I did the mane and left all of those swirls coming off of the outside edge, you're just going to be arbitrarily there. Like it's going to look goofy. Like it was like magic ethereal mist that just didn't belong. Like you're trying to get this realistic lion. So I posted the video of it before and after on my website or on Instagram. And he told me that he posted it to Facebook and he got 11 or 12 people had responded. And every single person that responded, including his family members that saw it and his friends, all said that my version of it was way too dark and I completely ruined his arm. And and then I spoke to him. He spoke to two other tattooers, one of them who knows me, and the tattooer said, well, it looks like you just missed the mark on this one. And it was really like disheartening. It was a really hard conversation to have with him. And it was really difficult over the course of a couple of days. And then I decided to just go ahead and post what I did online. And I got nothing but positive feedback on it. 183, 190 people all saying that they thought it was good. A bunch of comments. And I'm not trying to it wasn't about stroking my own ego, but it was about like, well, if he's going to put it out there and try and get feedback, maybe I should do the same. And
exactly.
See. Only I'm not gonna lead the witnesses. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna tell like, hey, which one do you like? He said when he posted it to Facebook, it was, which one of these two do you like better and why? Not that it was a rework, not that it was a cover up, or he thought I was only going a little bit to the lion and leave it at that. He didn't realize the whole thing was going to get redone. Now, mind you, this is the same guy that has the piece I posted a month ago of the bees, the honeybees with the honeycomb behind it on his arm, and he loved it. He was all about it. And it's part of the reason why he came back. But he's talking about getting some of his money back, or how much money this is going to cost him to have it lightened and then redone, and he's already spent X amount of dollars on it. Now he's going to have to spend thousands more, and it just made me feel bad, and I kind of apologized. I was like, look, man, I'm sorry if you're not happy with it. And I did miss the mark, but I thought I was doing what needed to be done with it, and I've 23 years of tattooing. This type of situations only happen a couple times,
right?
I think,
but that one in particular, like, have you guys ever dealt with that, or what do you do? Like the client was unhappy, and when I talked to the owner of the shop about it and let him know, he's like, man, that guy was difficult from the beginning. Like, you weren't going to make him happy no matter what you did. He was difficult with the other tattoo that I did, and they had a couple of other choice things to say.
I'm looking at your Instagram right now, and the bees in the honeycomb is incredible, by the way. I didn't see that before. I'm just saying that now. And look, the lion looks fine. I think one thing to keep in mind is considering where they're coming from already. Like, they could be dealing with something that has nothing to do with you or the tattoo, and they're hyper focusing on that to have their frustrations out.
Like, he was already unhappy with the tattoo.
Yeah, he was already unhappy with the tattoo, so he probably was just gonna be unhappy.
Yeah,
right.
I think, like, the last time we had somebody like that in our shop, they got a memorial piece for their grandmother who had died very, very recently, and the piece, in my opinion, was spot on and perfect. It was a replica of just like her handwriting, a little note that her grandma did, and it was done so well. I really loved it. But the girl came back crying and screaming, telling us that she needed to have it removed and everything was awful, and that her body is ruined, and that she just wanted something to remember her grandmother, and we've like ruined her body instead. And it was like it was a scene. And I think sometimes what you got to consider is maybe it has nothing to do with the tattoo at all. They're probably just upset.
I tried to see it from his point of view too. Like, I'm like, I guess it does look dark, but I know that it's not healed yet. But I also know around the outside edge of it, I went solid black because I was covering up that ridiculous stuff that was already there. You know what I mean?
Weird
And,
Fabio hair.
yeah, it was just all over the place. You can see it before. And I'm like, well, he's like, well, the laser place said it's going to take at least 6 weeks before they can touch it. So I'm going to have to let it heal anyway. So we'll see what happens. I'm like, well, that's the point. You let it heal and see how you feel about it. You know what I mean? Like, because there's no solid black in the face itself, except in the eyes, maybe a little bit around the nose and the mouth, and that was it.
Yeah. Like, it does look a little bit dark, but all tattoos look dark before they heal. So, yeah. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. That can be really, really disheartening, especially like when you feel like you've really helped somebody out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've dealt with that once or twice. It's not, it's never a good feeling. And it really makes you sit back and like question a lot of things.
Yep.
But, as Medusa pointed out, I think he just wasn't happy to begin with. And that's something to take into consideration and something to factor in. Because when someone's not happy with a tattoo to begin with, and they're going to be difficult, it makes it, that's where I take a step back and I'm like, all right, is anything I'm going to do with this tattoo going to make this better?
Right.
And if so, like, I have the experience behind me to ask the very simplistic question, what can I do to make you happy with this tattoo? If you just want this done, I'll just do this. If you want this done, I'll just do that. If you want me to go back over everything, that's fine. But keep this in mind, it's going to be a lot darker. That's one strategy I found to kind of eliminate a lot of issues. But at the end of the day, I think Medusa hit the nail on the head. I just don't think he was going to be happy at all either way.
Right.
And it sounds to me like someone that, without like, getting into specifics or anything, it just sounds to me like someone that wants to find a problem with something. No matter how well the tattoo turned out, I highly doubt they would have been happy with it anyway.
Right.
Because they feel like they have to have something wrong with it. They need to use that as an excuse.
I think a lot of people too don't have realistic expectations for their tattoos, especially when you're dealing with a cover up. Like I don't think people really understand what goes into a cover up, and that like, cover ups and reworks will get really tricky. You're not working with a clean canvas.
Right.
And I found a lot of people, like I'm just a tatter tat, but already I'm dealing with people that are coming in wanting cover ups of things that are like solid black, like large solid black chunks. And their expectations are like, well, I saw this person do this on Ink Master, so like, why can't you? And
those people.
Yeah. And it like was done in a half an hour. And I just think that nobody has realistic expectations. I don't even think I have realistic expectations.
Yeah, cover-ups are tricky. And especially when you're dealing with something that's already like a medium value, it can get really, really hectic. I would have gone just as dark. After taking a look at it, I would have done exactly what you did. I would have gone just as dark around the outside, because that is going to make the interior by default be that much lighter.
Right. That's kind of what more intense.
Exactly. You increase the contrast on the background, because unless you have a dark background, the light on the inside is not going to be very light, unless they don't want a whole lot of contrast and they want it to look very, very flat and very, very, medium value or mid-tone value, which we all know doesn't really make for a tattoo that's really going to look good over time. So it's
definitely
sometimes it's a catch-22. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Right. Right on. Well, I appreciate everybody's input.
Yeah. Anytime, Deuterino.
Yeah, we got you, homie. I think we should find that person's Facebook and just spam them with positive comments on the tattoo.
I'll make a bot for you to do that.
Would you really? That would be amazing. Can we get like 12,000 positive comments on it?
That'd be hilarious.
I think it might be possible.
Just like ridiculous comments, though. Godlike, legendary, incredible,
graceful thing I've ever seen.
outstanding,
Unbelievable rework.
Yeah.
Wish my tattoo could look that awesome.
That's funny.
God, I want to be your arm right now.
I want to be your arm.
Yeah, all we need is like and we'll talk offline about this, but all we need is a little bit of information. We can make that happen for you, Seth.
Yeah.
It's a Google search away.
It's like a very good friend of mine actually got a random text not too long ago, and it was just a name and an address, right? And he was like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to respond. And I was like, dude, just reply, consider it done. I'll take care of it this evening.
There you go.
That's fun.
Dude, I want a text like that.
I mean, that can be arranged. Don't be surprised if you get one of those in the future, Medusa.
Wait, I already got your name and address.
Yeah, but I'll just find a random name and address online.
All right. Sick.
We'll schedule some text messages to go your way in the middle of the night.
I'll send you Ricardo's name and address.
Yeah, fine, go for it.
I already have. I sent him a postcard.
Damn it.
Did you
Way
send
to
it
crush
the
my hopes
house,
and
or-
dreams, Medusa.
Yeah.
That's softer acts for you today, Jason.
Well, I try, right? And all we can do is try.
Amen.
Shit, not hard enough.
Yeah, well, I never said I put a lot of try or a lot of effort into it, but
I did see an effort put in.
I
there.
put
I
enough
can vouch.
effort into it to be noticeable.
I put enough effort into it to say that I put effort into it.
Got your credit.
Yeah, I got my street cred on that.
There you go. That's all that matters in life.
Oh
Hey, did
man.
you guys hear something about the another Tattoo the Earth event coming on?
Tattoo the Earth? No, but now I'm interested.
Tell us
Yeah.
more.
It was something Paul Booth did way back in the day. And I think I saw it. It had to do with like having bands play, and there were tattooers set up there as well, vendors and stuff like that.
Like a
Big show.
convention type deal, or like
Yeah,
a
kind
3-day
of
like
event
music
meets
event?
a hardcore festival. Like,
Interesting.
yeah,
Sign me up.
I know that Paul Booth was instrumental in some of the first what did he call that? Art fusion experiments.
oh yeah, for sure.
So I'd be interested to see if something like that was going on again. And in fact, I'd love to actually, find some people to get in on something like that at a show. I know we tried to do that up at the BYOB, the Paradise BYOB, back last October. And that was pretty cool. We did get a couple of artists that were jumping in on that, but
Are you talking about those full body pieces that everybody drew on?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
that I still have that I have to get framed.
Are
I think
you
I
are you
drew
coming
it.
to Akron next weekend, Jason?
Probably not.
I was gonna say we could do something
Yeah.
there.
I was trying to move some appointments around so I could make it. But it's just not going to be feasible.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we've got one guy out all week, this coming week at the studio. And the other guy is only in for like a couple of days. So it's going to be tough to like balance that. And then having myself, the owner, and the apprentice there for a couple of days. So I highly doubt I'm going to be able to get away.
This next coming year, I want to get more involved in travel tattooing and guest spotting.
Hit us up over here at Red Tree. We'll get you in.
What?
Hit us up at Red Tree. We'll get you in. For a guest spot.
Yeah, go to a guest spot at Red Tree.
Oh,
It's brilliant.
oh, I could embarrass myself in front of all of you guys. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but imagine this. Imagine the legendary Derb Morrison coming over and being like, oh, that's sick.
Or
If Derb's not out of town.
yeah, or
Yeah,
I could
good
come
call,
over and
good
just
call.
be all like, oh, like who invited this girl?
No, we're all crazy. Don't worry.
Okay.
Kyle, are you making it down to Puerto Rico this year?
I am not. That is
What's
out
in
of my
Puerto
range.
Rico?
The Puerto Rico Tattoo Convention?
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's a smaller like invitation only show.
That's the one you're
Oh.
going to during the winter, right?
Yep, in the beginning of December. I mean, it's open for people to attend it, but like if you wanted to get a booth at it, that's like there's like a whole approval process you have to go through.
Link me. I want to attend it.
It's absolutely incredible. James Tex and Anthony Tex are both going to be there. Phibbs will be there. There's going to be a whole Dave Tavanaugh's supposed to be there.
From Bloomington.
Supposed to be some really great artists there, myself included. My friend from Malaysia is flying out.
Like there's going to be great artists there. Myself.
I mean,
He is a great artist.
You are. It's just I wasn't expecting you to be all like, it's me. I'm the great artist.
Well, he's just one of them.
yeah, I'm I like to think I'm all right, but like
You're good. You're great. I love the pieces you sent me, by the way. Those are inspirational. That's one of my inspirational things is I look at your guys' arts.
nice cover, Medusa. Good cover.
Now, was that straight backpedaling or was that like a moonwalk? That was very fancy, Medusa. It was well done.
I meant it.
That was one of those I'm gonna laugh at you and then try to hide that with a compliment.
I'm always going to laugh at you.
Oh, that's
But I'm also always going to compliment you. And it's not covering each other. They just go hand in hand.
mm-hmm.
Chocolate.
I think I'm
Like
ready for some hard
greatness.
black lines.
Treasure chest.
I think I'm ready for hard black.
Are you going to put details in the, is that a moon?
Yeah, I was just gonna leave it open. Just to give it like a little bit of a different look. If I was going to do a moon, I would actually fill that in with like a pale yellow.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
It might look nice if you just get like a little splatter or something on there too. Just like
No, I was
brush
thinking
and a
that.
couple drops.
Or I was thinking like maybe like a burnt orange, just kind of like starting around this edge and then fading out. Doing like a very subtle burnt orange wash, almost making it look like a blood moon or like a setting sun. I thought that might look cool.
Why? Curiosity. Why that edge as opposed to any other edges?
Because if I throw like a burnt orange or any kind of like a warm tone here along this edge, and the reason why I'm saying like a burnt orange is because that would directly contrast a lot of these bright blues.
Yeah.
Right. So that would create a tonal contrast to really help lift these blues out and make these blues appear that much more vibrant.
Okay. So it's just to have them right next to each other for the
Right.
contrast. Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
Because if I did the contrast up here, there would be a lot of separation between the burnt orange edge over here. And if I did it right and I faded that out to like just about nothing, it wouldn't really have the same amount of impact on the blue unless it was like right next to it or overlapping it. So that's why I would do it like along this edge here.
We've also got great opportunities for some light on dark contrast with that too. Those flowers and the rings.
Right.
Right.
But that has yet to be determined. I'll probably, if I do that, that'll be done last. I'm going to go through and start inking some hard lines in this, like some gray lines. By the way, this is the best black fluid acrylic you could ever buy.
Black Star. Is that Dr. Martin's?
Dr. P.H. Martin's Black Star Matte.
I got the
pull it
matte
up on
black
the screen?
3.0.
I got some of the shoes.
Yeah. You want me to throw up the actual like web page of it?
Yeah, yeah. Right now, I think on my screen it's just I might be able to change it.
Hold on. I got you. I got you, Seth. Don't worry.
I've used that black 3.0 by I think it's Short Simple. What? I forgot the name of the brand.
Stuart Simple. Yeah.
Yeah, Stuart Simple. This, and it is black. It is super black. Like no, it doesn't catch any light. And I also have their ink for pens and stuff, but this one isn't so black. The ink isn't, but the paint, holy crap. Like it takes in all the light and doesn't reflect any of it. I think I have an example of that on one of my paintings. I'll go grab it.
Now that's not quite as black as Vanta Black, right? By
I think
Anish Kapoor.
I think this is the one that was competing with it, where they made a blacker black because they were all like, screw you to the guy that like did the copyright thing on his black so that no other artist could use it.
So this is what I use for a lot of my black lines. I like the consistency of it. It's very fluid. It's very, very easy to use. It's carbon based, but when it dries, it's permanent.
Cool.
It's not going to absorb light like the Black 3.0 or anything like that. But for painting flash, I found that when you use things like, I used to use Talons a lot, which was great for super dark black lines. But I didn't like it because if you used it straight, you could almost get like a reflective surface off of it.
It gets shiny if it gets too thick.
Right. So this stuff I found I can use just as thick if I need to, but it's straight matte. It's not going to be reflective at all, which is great for like if you're doing a flash sheet or something like that, where you're doing a watercolor painting you intend on scanning, because even if you scan it, it's going to be that tone of black because it's matte, it's non-reflective. You're not going to have to worry about like the scanner light reflecting off of it and distorting any of the hues or anything like that, which I have run into with some of my paintings, which stinks, but it is what it is. But this is what I use, and I highly, highly recommend it. It thins out great too for washes. So if you were going to go through and do like a light gray wash, maybe a drop of this, or just like touch the dropper tip to the bottom of like a big ink cap, fill the rest up with water, and just start painting. And it'll give you a very, very silver kind of light gray wash.
What were you saying about gently touching the tip?
Yeah, the dropper tip in the bottle, because it's got like the little dropper top. I know what you were talking about.
Way to bring it back, Jason. Sorry, I'm a child over here.
So am I.
You
Mentally, I'm still
what I was
14.
thinking. Do you have any examples of that black on like paper next to other blacks?
No.
So I'll show you the black 3.0
Okay.
versus ballpoint pen on a drawing.
Isn't ballpoint pen usually more of a blue-based black though?
I think it's more like red base, but like it doesn't pick up light barely at all. There's a couple of crease marks on the paper, but other than that, like this is the black. It's so black. Look at that.
Black.
That's pretty dark.
It's so black. It like blew my mind.
But how's its viscosity?
Viscosity? It's actually not very thick. It's pretty thin. That was only 2 layers. And the first layer was already pretty black, but I wanted to just double down on it. So it's not really thick like I would expect for an acrylic paint. It's almost like an acrylic ink.
Okay. That's what I was curious about, because a lot of the blacks I prefer to use generally tend to be a lot more fluid. So they're a lot more ink like.
Yeah, like I haven't used it in a while, but it's not super pasty. It spreads really well. I mean, you got to shake it up. I think it separates, but I found it to be pretty similar to like a little bit of a watered down gouache,
Okay.
like that type of viscosity. My most of my acrylic paints are really thick and pasty, so that's all I have to compare it to as an acrylic paint versus my other acrylic paints.
Yeah, I started painting with this and I fell in love with it. That's just, my own 2 cents though.
Yeah, I have the ink from the super black thing, but I'm gonna say this isn't really that black. It's very it's actually pretty translucent.
Really?
Maybe I'm not using enough.
Well, and that's going to be another major question I have is, how many times do you have to go over it for it to be that dark?
So this one was 2 light layers, or
Okay.
1 regular layer and then a thinner layer just to cover up some spots that I didn't do.
Gotcha.
And that's how I got this black hole that is not picking up any light in the camera. And yeah, I believe the triple black thing by Stuart Simple was made as like a retort to the other guy who marked
Anish
like,
Kapoor.
yeah, he did the copyright so that no artist in the world could use his black.
Well, and part of the reason I can kind of understand where he's coming from with it, because it's not actually a paint. Okay. The Vanta Black, which is patented and copyrighted by Anish Kapoor, is not actually a paint per se. It is a 99.9% light absorbent coating that's actually grown using carbon nanotubes. So it's an extremely involved process on how to create it. So think of like black powder coating. What?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Like, what do you mean by that? It's not paint? Is it like an epoxy or something, or a mineral? Like, well, I guess paints are minerals.
It's basically a collection of carbon nanotubes that are grown, because carbon nanotubes don't naturally really occur.
What kind of garden do I go to pick me some nanotubes?
Yeah, you'll have to forgive my ignorance.
I don't even know, to be honest with you. You would have to ask him. But from everything that I've read, it's a very specific type of scientific coating. It's not necessarily a paint per se. So even if you were to have that actual like black carbon nanotube pigment, if you were to mix it with anything else, you would actually just be diluting it. You would have to put it on in a pure state and then put some type of a coating over top of it in order for it to be that black. But that's why it's only used for like very, very specific things. For example, I think he coated a Lamborghini in it, right? But that was a very complex, time-consuming process that took, quite a few years to complete.
That the same. This is the same stuff that like the advertisement has like a little rubber ducky that's painted black with regular black paint, and then it's got one.
No, that's Black 3.0.
Yeah, that's the one that's available for artists to buy.
Okay.
The anti-black is it's not advertised. And the guy that owns the copyright and the patent on it, I'm pretty sure still has a number of different government contracts to create like powder coatings for stealth, jets and
Wow.
different types of like super silent stealth helicopters and stuff like that.
Have you seen the paint job that makes the military? It's got the technology where they can paint vehicles and objects to be invisible because it just shows what's on the other side of it.
That doesn't
I
make me
have
feel
seen
super
that.
comfortable.
It only works from one side, I guess.
Yeah.
And they can't move anywhere, right? They're just
No,
stuck there.
I mean, as far as I know, they can move, but you can only view it from like the three angles, right? Like the front 3/4, rear 3/4, and a complete profile. But from all three of those angles, it just looks like whatever's beyond it. It's some kind of like a film or something. It plays. It's like cameras on the other side, and it plays whatever, like shows the image on one side of the car of whatever the cameras are picking up on the other side.
Yeah, it's a type of video projection. So they actually have cameras like recording and broadcasting one image on the opposite side, and they're just projecting that to the front.
Yeah, it's like real time. They had like cars drive by behind it, and it looks like it's just insane. It looks like it's not even there.
Yeah, I think that if I remember correctly, that technology was actually developed by a guy over at MIT. Or
Nice.
it was either MIT or NYU, I forget which exactly, but I remember seeing something about that kind of technology being pioneered about 10, 15 years ago.
Yes. And then every now and again, like a video from it will like creep into your news feed. Like, oh,
before the government takes it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, technology is crazy, especially when you're talking about things with like military applications. The government keeps quite a tight lid on that stuff. But I will say this, for Big Brother that I'm pretty sure is listening right now, I would like to send a personal thank you to DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Association, or something like that. Basically, it's the science and technology branch of the military. And it's from them that we got things like the internet, believe it or not, and the microwave and cell phones and laser beams. But I feel that they do not very often get as much credit as they should get. Thank you, DARPA, for all of the things that you have done for us and the technology that you have allowed us to utilize. Yeah, I think just some gray lines on the background on these leaves. I think that'll definitely be helpful. I might go a little bit darker though. I don't know how well you guys can actually see the value on this, but I think I do need to go just a hair darker. So that's why you tried to kiss him. We were all seriously confused about that. Hey, Seth.
Yo, what's up?
What's your favorite mag grouping?
I think it depends on what I'm trying to do. I know that sounds like kind of a phony answer, but with most tattoos, my setup is going to be almost always all bug pins. And it's going to be a tight 3, a 7, a 9 liner, and then a 7 mag bug pin curved, 17 mag bug pin curved. And then beyond that, if I'm doing larger, fields of value that need to be built up, I'll use a 23 mag or 27 mag. For some reason, I stay away from the 15s. I really like the 17s, especially being the bug pins. They're going to fill the same space as a normal 15 mag would fill, but it's just going to be a little more saturation, a little smoother. And you kind of get used to using them. But what I learned from a guy that worked at Bill Salmon's shop. The hell is that called, out in San Francisco? The name's escaping me right now. But I met this kid out there, and the Diamond Club, I think Diamond Club had it. So he said always curved mags, and I was like, really? So I switched them up and went with curved mags, and you can still use the corner of the mag to develop, get little tight areas and stuff. But using the curved mags really, it's like the equivalent of using a filbert brush. It helps with blending small areas. I can still get in real tight corners. I can use the mag on its side if I want, or I can use it straight up. So I think my answer to that would be curved. Like whatever needle grouping it is, it would probably just be a curved mag. And almost always bug pin.
Do you know what size bug pin you prefer?
Yeah, actually I do. Again, if I'm I've done portraits where I'm using the 00s, the 08s.
Right.
Not every company sells those. So I tend to use, I've been using these peak needles, and they come in the regular bug pin. So they would be like the 10 gauge, I guess. But
okay.
A 00 would be the 08s, and those are ultra smooth. But the difference being that when you're building up value with the 00, you have to be so deliberate, right? Like with the value that you're putting down, there's not as much building up of it as there is just kind of laying it in there. Because the skin gets tired a little easier, I think. Or it's just because I've become accustomed to using the 10 gauge bug pins, regular bug pins, whatever.
I think that may be it personally. I mean, I found that they cause less skin trauma than the standard 0.30s or, regular bug pins, but
yeah,
that's just me.
0.10s. Yeah. So the 0.10 is what I'm using right now. And I have the 0.08s. And those are teeny tiny.
Lately, I've been finding myself getting back to my roots and going back to like the standard number 12 medium taper.
Oh yeah, how's that? I can't imagine packing color with something like that now. After using it must be so much easier.
For me, I was stuck on using nothing but bug pins for a very long time.
Yeah, that's right.
And I used to swear up and down by them, and I still do for certain things.
Yeah.
But when I ended up running out of a box of mags one day, and I was like, oh, well, I've got these. They're not expired or anything. Let me, you know what? I'll just use them to knock out this little tattoo real quick. And I was like, wow, that was easy. And it was in there. It was solid, and I was done. And I had that client come back not too long ago, and I just wanted to see how everything healed up and, what the color was like. And I actually started to notice that, I don't know if it's because it's creating a bigger divot in the skin and it's allowing more pigment in.
Yeah.
But I found that the color was actually a little bit brighter.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's a heavier.
But it's one of those things where you have to be deliberate about it. Extremely deliberate about what color you want where, because you do not have too many passes that you can go over it.
Okay.
So if you want yellow, then it's yellow,
Shoot
but
yellow.
you can't, it's not like you can go back over it and blend in a different color, or maybe add like a little bit of an orange or maybe a little bit of white. Like you have to be very deliberate about what colors you want and where, because it's going to saturate the skin very quickly.
Yeah.
But I have also found that if I go with, so I took that experience and I started branching out a little bit more, trying some of the number 12 long tapers, which I really like. And I found that if you use those just barely off the tips, just grazing the skin, it actually creates a blend and the amount of skin trauma that a standard number 10 bug pin would cause.
Okay.
And I thought back for a minute to the seminar that was given at the Paradise BYOB about needles, needle types by Mark Lescarbo.
Oh, that was a fun one.
And it was like, and it blew my mind what he was saying. Because when you really think about it, like a number 12 long taper, there's going to be a point on that needle, right, on each individual pin, that the tip of that pin is going to be the same diameter as a number 10.
Okay, that makes sense.
There's also going to be a point on that where the tip diameter is a number 8. Now, whether or not you can get accurate needle penetration for serious pigment deposit at that depth is kind of up in the air. I haven't really played around with that. But when he put it to me like that, and he showed me some visual examples, because I'm a very visual person, it was like this light bulb went off.
I remember that seminar. That was super cool because he explained things that a lot of people have tried to explain to me, but he said it in a way that it actually like clicked in my head.
Yeah, I think there's a purpose for everything. A purpose for every needle type and size, and everyone's got their own preferences, which is why I always like to ask. I know that for me, I prefer certain types of mags for certain situations and certain applications, and I prefer other types for other situations and applications. But everyone is different, and everyone does have a little bit of a different preference. So I'm always curious to see what people are using and if they know why they prefer it. Because I've found that there's a lot of people out there that, say, oh, I use this just because this is what I've always used, or, this is what I was taught was best for black and gray, or this is what I was taught was best for color. But like, they don't really know why. They don't know the explanation or the reasoning behind it. So it's something I'm always curious about and I'm always fascinated about. And I've heard different explanations for different things, like getting better, more saturated color using a number 8. Just because if you think about it more like a printer where you have a higher DPI setting, that does make sense. Plus it allows you to go over those areas a few more times to kind of build up a specific tone or a specific value without completely chewing people apart. So that, I can understand that explanation there. But everyone is different and everyone uses different techniques to apply different things. Oh, speaking of which, sorry for quick change in topic. Have you talked to John Clue yet?
No, I did not have a chance to call him, but on my way back, I'm driving back to PA tonight. So I will, I plan on reaching out to him. I'll have quite a few hours in the car, and I will definitely give him a call.
Awesome.
So as soon as I do, I will reach back out to you. I'll be back down in that area next week, down in Philly. So we'll talk for sure before next Sunday.
Awesome. And when you go to John's studio, is that up in New York?
It is in Long Island, I believe. I
Okay.
don't know if it's the same one that I worked at years ago, which is Centimore Riches. But I have to, I'll find out when I talk to him. He just mentioned to me that he was in Long Island at the moment. He's very transient in where he works, you know what I mean? He travels around a lot.
Right.
So, Want to see some of that 0.10 bug pin stuff healed up?
Sure.
It's fine. I just worked on him a couple weeks ago. He has a image of his kids. You mind if I show them?
There's
And him,
Ricardo's beautiful
like,
face.
Carvin. Hey, what's up?
I see you.
Woods. And
What's up, guys? We're taking a break.
Close up of this. Flip this camera around here. All right, so this is fresh. We're working on it now.
Right on.
And then the inside, this is healed.
Ooh.
Echo. You sick, disgusting freak. That is so cool.
Thank you. And we got to build
Nicely
up.
done.
Thank you. So moving along.
Hell
But
yeah.
that's all bug double the 0.10. And that healed up. And that's another thing I like about these bug pins. That was healed in 2 weeks. He said with, it just baked up a little bit and it was done.
Hell yeah. That's fucking sick.
Thank you.
I really like the detail on the what is that structure? Is that like a stone wall that has the
carving? That's an what do you call it? No, the tree.
Oh, the birch.
It's a birch tree. There you go. So I used a birch tree because of the it's lighter. I'll show you one more time, just because of the
yeah, let me see that
lighter
again.
value. Yeah.
Oh, it's the trunk. Okay. I didn't see
Yeah.
that.
And then I
didn't-
used the negative, space to create a regular border of the leaves at the top. And then, blend the background right around it. And then in the foreground here, we're going to do some wheatgrass blades coming up in front of it.
I love
Nice.
that strong lighting on the right side of it. That is
Awesome.
gorgeous. And how it has like that dark shadow and then fades back around to normal lighting. Oh, that is.
See, I like
That
the
is
use
some
of
creamy stuff.
line. I like the use of line to create the textures in that bark.
Yeah. I mean, try and keep it simple, right? Like the birch trees, they kind of have that, but you don't have to overwork it, just efficiency of line, create the form by having it wrap around the tree like that.
Yeah, I think it really helps move your eye around the trunk.
Thank you.
Yes, Satharoni, that is one good looking birch tree.
Thank you.
And the mob burned him at the stake for being a witch. The year was 1973.
We're really at the creek here. What the heck are we gonna do? What are you gonna do? No, what are you gonna do?
What's everybody else working on?
That's a great question, Gary. Can you believe you got
Ricardo's working on looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Ricardo, have you booked your photo shoot with GQ yet?
Yeah, so then that way, as they go off into the background, and I'm doing just the silhouettes of them, it'll make more sense. And then the silhouettes these ones here will have a stronger black. Ones back there will be grayer. The lights wrapping around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break from the arm. I put some Bactine on her and wrapped her up. And she's having a cigarette, and we're just hanging out.
Right on, man. Right on.
Yep, I got a lot of the background done. I'll see you guys here in a little bit about the color on the blue fish. See what you think about it.
Dory?
Yeah, around Dory, yep.
Dude, I saw that stuff on your Instagram. It's just pristine, my dude. Good looking stuff.
Appreciate it very much. I did that album cover yesterday from the Smashing Pumpkins, that Melancholy album.
Ooh, I want to check that out.
I think I put it in my
your-
story.
Oh,
I think I put it in
no.
the story instead of a post. Yeah, it might still be on there.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it.
'Cause I think I put it on less than 24 hours ago.
Oh, I see that.
I'm sorry, I'm busy with tattoos.
Sick, my dude.
Thank you. That was one shot about 5 hours, or no, 4 hours. I'm sorry.
Can you pull that up online, please?
I can indeed.
Please, thank you.
Un momento, por favor.
I was really conscientious about bumping up all the contrast in it too. With the on the original, it's so soft. You know what I mean? But I really made sure to be conscientious of taking all the tones and bumping them up with like 20%, 30% in contrast. I mixed in other hues with it. I did a lot with mixing like a lot of muted tones with it too, instead of using blacks. And I used a lot of like, there's a color from Raw called Cocoa Brown that's pretty awesome. It's really good to mix with like some blues and stuff like that too.
Browns are so hard to find a good one that'll heal up right.
There you go.
Browns.
Oh yeah,
Can you pause that?
Killer.
There you go.
Dude, that reflective light on her hand on the bottom one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that under the knuckles there, killer.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm having a little tizzy over here about those, like just the olive shades, the light olive shades in her skin.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was really making sure to have a foundation on there, you know what I mean, without having it be too dark.
It's very Renaissance-esque. I like
Yeah,
it.
thank you. Appreciate that.
Now I've noticed you do tend to have a tendency to go for a lot of those like olive tones mixed with some of those warmer like flesh tones.
Yeah.
Is that because you don't want those cooler areas of shadow to be too cool? Or is that just because it gives it that subtle muted tone?
Yeah, I think I like it because it gives it that muted tone. You know what I mean? I just recently started playing with those cooler tones as a shadow in that caterpillar. You know, so underneath on the belly of it. Can you pull that one up?
You got it.
I finished a piece recently that I'm really proud of, and I want some critiques. Do you think I should post it on the Reinventing forum?
Look at that caterpillar. Hold on. I'm just taking in this caterpillar.
Oh yeah, I saw that and I lost my shit a little bit. and then I saw who did it and I was like, oh, fucking go figure.
I really like what you did with bringing that blue into like those little like I guess feet of the caterpillar.
Yeah.
On the underside.
Yeah, it mutes them out and pushes them back just enough, but you still get that concept that there's feet there, but they are in such shadow that they're obscured.
I'm digging the texture on the branch and the cool underlight on that branch that he's on. The cool underlight in contrast with the red.
Right down here.
Yeah, that area is sick.
Thank you. Yeah, I made sure to put that same color for the belly and stuff like that on the branch itself. You know what I mean?
I like it. Consistency.
Right. Yeah, like it's the same tone. And I actually used layers for this one and laid them on top of each other, which I don't really do very often, but
you really don't.
The feet are all the same tone, and then I just went over the whole thing with like the same blue, so I made it that grayish color, that grayish brown color automatically. It's like glazing.
Awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
Cool. All right, Medusa, I'll spotlight you in a second. Did you want to show off what you wanted that critique on?
I would like a critique if that's anything anybody is down to do, since we have a pretty well-rounded group of artists on the show right now. If that's
I'm actually going to be heading out.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I should be holding up my iPad the whole time. It is essentially, I'd just be showing my Instagram. Do you want to pull that one up?
Yeah, that's on Insta.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the swimming lady that's just about 3 rows down.
Yep. Give me 1 second and I'll pull that up.
So I designed that one in I think the second or third week of the first round of the Reinventing Evolution course, trying to apply as much as the lessons in that week or in those couple of weeks that we had learned already, and added on to it throughout, and then finished it right after the quarter was over.
It's killer.
Yeah, I've been struggling with the lighting at work, trying to get good lighting on the pieces, but this is something I like, so I would like critiques on it.
You want me to nitpick at it? I'd say with the person, go a bit warmer to help contrast against that blue. There's a couple spots where, and you know, some parts should probably fade in with the water, but I think there's some parts that could stand out a bit more and be a bit warmer.
Awesome.
I would agree. I would also say instead of going with like a hard black line over on that far hand, hold on, I'm just going to see if I can get this a little bit bigger.
Like a dark blue line or something.
I would have gone with either a gray line or something a bit more faint, like a blue line to kind of contrast and really kind of push that arm back in perspective a little bit more. Also, take a look at your light source. I mean, you've got pretty consistent light source coming around, but is that light source coming down a warm light or a cool light?
Gotcha.
You know, and then how is that going to play off of the light purple, and what kind of shadows are going to be created on the swimsuit?
Gotcha. Yeah, I did a blue wash type of thing underlight for the shadows, which at the time I thought was cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a strong composition, and you nailed like with the reflective light, but the transitional shadow, the one that describes that separation between the reflected light and the warm light, can be like, look underneath the forearm there, the forearm that's in the foreground. There you got that highlight there, and then you got that blue light underneath of it.
Mm-hmm.
That shadow that kind of separates the reflected light from the highlight can just be stronger. The same thing, same hue, just I would put it in a little bit darker, less as a wash and more as like I would kick it up maybe the value like 3 or 4% on it, because it'll then come further into the foreground. You know what I mean? Same thing with the one under the thigh. It's great color, it's great hue. But I would definitely just hit that kind of transitional shadow. I would make that a little bit stronger. But that's really cool. That's wild. I love her hair too, like all those stars and everything.
Thank you. That is.
I would have also brought. I would have brought a little bit of a darker contrast, maybe even like a light, well, maybe not a light, more of like a medium gray wash coming up from that coral at the bottom. Really make that appear like you're looking into the depths of the ocean, instead of having the same, or actually just a hair darker blue down here. I would have actually muted it out a little bit more, because as you look into the depths of the ocean, like really, really deep parts, you lose light. And when you lose light and it becomes darker, those color tones become desaturated because you no longer have that light creating that tone. So if you were to go through and do like a medium gray wash over top of this down here, that would have really brought out a lot of these lighter areas and highlight areas on the woman herself. So that would really help create that illusion of light. If you just made that bottom part a little bit more desaturated.
Will you get to see this client again? I'd love to see it heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you'll be able to do your own critique, like too, like just being able to look like a piece like this with all those different hue and value changes that you're looking for in there. Look at it coming back healed and just kind of look at them side by side and see what you find with it.
Sweet. Thank you guys so much.
I've got, it looks like you did a blue line for some of this negative space.
Yeah.
I love the flow of the negative space, by the way. I absolutely love that. That's like, you really have that down as far as moving around, going behind and then coming forward and then going back again. I absolutely love that negative space line. I don't know if I would have put such a strong blue line there.
Yeah, I didn't expect that blue line to be so bold. That was I didn't expect that either.
That was a learning experience.
Yes, that's what we call that. A learning experience.
Yeah. But I mean, I absolutely love the way that you have that moving in, out, and around the whole form. Really moves your eye upwards, so that you can really kind of focus on everything going on at the upper portion of the body. Otherwise, I think with all the bubbles down at the bottom, without that negative space line, I think your eye would have been drawn immediately there, or that would have been a conflicting area with all of the bright starbursts you have at the top. But by having that negative space in there, it really brings your eye up and allows those bubbles to just be accent as they should be.
Yeah, my goal was to draw the eyes up into the hair, like see that she's floating in water and then be brought right back up to the celestial hair, which I am practicing after taking the seminar at BYOB from Haley Adams.
Yes.
So that was so insightful. That was so fun. She even had like a whole coloring book and everything.
Yeah, I still have mine.
I still have mine too. Very fun.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was such a fun seminar.
Yes, it was.
I love the you're talking about the negative space and the touch on what Jason was saying, the way it moves. You kind of have that, I'm seeing like a combination of two different, it's really cool, like two different art styles, and they're distinct, and that her hair has that, like that Art Deco Muka sort of movement to it, which I love whenever hair is moving through water to kind of create like a real graphic, but yet fluid movement of the hair. It's really strong. And the idea of like the almost like surrealistic, like Dali, is with the shapes of the kelp that's coming up around her. I feel like the negative space kind of mimics that shape, right? So now you're getting like that repetitive image kind of, used in different ways. It's pretty wild. It definitely helps the composition. So good job on that.
Thank you. One of the goals for the client was that she wanted the lady to be, she definitely wanted seaweed around her, but not tangled or like not in a trapping style, more of just like, this is my natural space style.
Yeah, it's like she's kind of ascending up through it very naturally. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I would have made the top a little bit wider to kind of cap off the deltoid.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of fill the space a little bit more. But I mean, you've got plenty of room to go through and add on more stuff later. I don't know if that's going on or not.
Did you have any reference, or did you draw it up just right on the fly?
Reference images?
Yeah, like did you just draw it up on your own, or where?
As I used a stock photo of a model that was in the pose of falling to help with the body shape, but she wanted the person to not be super skinny and to show a bit of curvature. So I added some thickness to the thighs and got those natural belly bumps that every woman has.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. So my reference photo was just for the body thing. The rest I just drew up.
Awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
Bravo.
I am very grateful for all these helpful critiques, and I can't wait to see it healed so I can report back about that. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, no problem. We've got Allie in the YouTube saying, hey, from Alabama. What's up?
Hi, Allie.
Alabama. LSU. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know what that means. I just scare people.
Oh, that's cool.
Are any of you guys getting a heat wave this weekend?
Hell yeah.
Or this upcoming week, I guess?
The heat index, I think, is over 105 in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I think this is the first day of possibly week-long 100-degree plus weather over here in Portland. I know, it's gonna be so sticky.
We just had a wicked thunderstorm the other day with like super crazy winds that knocked out my power.
I saw on your Instagram, did the power go out while you were cooking?
Yes, literally as I was making this like edible strudel, and as I threw it in the oven, my power went out.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I got like 3/4 of my meal prep done and had to do the rest today.
Are you down in Florida?
No, I'm in Ohio.
Oh, I went to visit my mom a couple weeks ago down in Cape Coral, which is like the west coast of Florida, Fort Myers, and I haven't been down there to visit her yet. I haven't seen her in a long time. And I get down there, and I expect it to rain, as it normally will in the afternoon in Florida. You get a thunderstorm, and it passes through, you know. They got so much rain when I was there, just for those few days. It was one of the storms that came through dropped 5 inches of rain. It was insane. I've never witnessed anything like that. It wasn't a hurricane. You know what I mean? It was incredible, the amount of rain that came and went in such a short time. Business with water in it and stuff. I was just like, I said, is this normal? I know it rains a lot. She goes, yeah, not like this. Mother
So
Nature.
you just got a special thing.
Yeah, I'll say it was something else.
Very crazy.
Oh man, I'm drawing some swallows, and I originally drew the underside of the wing the same as the top, and then pulled up a couple of reference photos, and it is not the same. It's completely different, the underside of the wing. Have any of you ever had to?
One little trick I learned about drawing feathers and wings. It is the same basic principle as if you were drawing scales, believe it or not. To get them to layer right, it's like the same concept.
None of them have ever performed in Pawnee. Why?
The rhythm for drawing those wings is very much the same.
Yeah. That was pointed out to me the other night, and I was like, whoa.
Great.
By the way, guys, for anyone that's interested in drawing scales or drawing snakes of any kind, sorry, not to steal your thunder, Medusa, but there may be a snake tutorial coming out on the Tattoo Smart YouTube that I did.
Place. That's why we can't see each other.
Hell yeah, my dude.
Awesome.
I hear it's a good one.
Is that the recording of the one you did the other day?
It might be. It's not confirmed. But there might be a snake tutorial coming out. So.
Hell yeah.
That's what I've heard, at least.
Look at you coming on up in the Tattoo Smart world.
Yeah, well,
You deserve it.
I mean, Lord knows I've bought enough of their products.
Well, you've also invested so much into giving into the community.
Well, I try, it's, just to circle back, community is everything in this industry. Well, in my opinion, at least. Other people have different ideas and different, concepts about like, oh, well, I just like to do my own thing, and that's cool. But like for those of us that are actually part of the greater tattoo community, to me, that's what's giving back, is that sharing of knowledge and helping every tattooer, advance a little bit. you know, or just get to another level. That to me is everything.
Have you guys, I can't think of this guy's name off the top of my head, but Joe Rogan recently gave them a little blast on his podcast showing a tattoo he had done, and it brought this brand of ink back to life for me. And I was like, oh, maybe I should try that again. This kid's stuff, he's 23 years old, I think. His stuff heals up amazing, black and gray. And he's using that silverback, which I tried years ago, and I couldn't really figure it out. So I just kind of ended up sticking with what I knew. But after looking at some of his stuff, I was like, good Lord, like I really like to give that a whirl again.
So I used silverback for a number of years. And it was nice, but I noticed some inconsistencies from batch to batch.
Okay, maybe that's
as far as like the values go.
Yeah.
So that's just something I would say, cool, but like do a spot test on a paper towel before you use it every time.
Yeah.
And especially if you're starting to run low on it. Once again, make sure you do a spot test, because I've also noticed that as those bottles sit, they settle outrageously, and you can actually get a difference in tone as you get lower and lower in the bottle. So that's just something I've picked out on my own. That's why I started using a different brand of premixed gray. But
anybody out there using the drops of white in with their gray wash?
I believe that's technically called a whitewash. Or
I've done a whitewash
has more than just a drop.
What they call that? Okay, I thought whitewash was like I'll use white, but I'll mix it down with witch hazel distilled water mixture the same way I would a gray wash, so I can get different value, like different intensities of white, you know. But I didn't realize that's what they were calling putting it in with the black gray wash.
Yeah, there are some companies out there making that. I'm a big fan of it, so I always try to mix in just a hair, just a little bit. Like if I'm doing my own mix, I'll add in a drop or two of white, or you know, sometimes maybe 3 drops, depending on how much comes out. Just because it's going to give it a little bit of a smoother tone, and help smooth everything out, and it's also going to help you see that value a little bit better.
Yeah.
So you know, if you're putting in a light wash, it's going to be really light.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that for this piece I'm working on right now, actually. For his 3 kids that are walking into the woods, like in the path, and seeing them from behind. Just everything's done in gray wash up until this point. So I was thinking about adding a couple drops of white to the gray wash just for them to help kind of separate their value from the rest of it, as opposed to using like an opaque gray.
Right. Well, and I think there's a big difference there, and it's something that in some of the other tattoo groups that I, you know, kind of lurk in, I've seen some different opinions about, you know, opaques and stuff like that. And I think there's a very big difference. I used to be of the opinion that if you're mixing white into it, it immediately becomes an opaque, but it doesn't. Right. You know, it's an opaque if it's just white and black, in differing amounts. That to me is what makes that an opaque. But if you're using it with like a gray, like a wash, where it's translucent, it's still technically a wash. But I think, honestly, I really like the look that it gives. And I think that, you know, I really use it to its fullest benefit. I really like it. And I know several other very prominent black and gray artists that might or might not have their own signature sets of gray wash out that actually have a tiny bit of white mixed into their gray washes just to help smooth things out.
Polo does that, I think. I've seen some of his stuff. I actually had one of his gray wash sets from Fusion. I feel like you could see it in a bottle, you know.
Yeah, it's something where if you let a bottle of gray wash kind of sit, you can kind of see that.
Yeah,
The one artist specifically I'm talking about is actually from Detroit.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Not trying to like name drop or anything, but it's one thing I picked up on when I went to go and see his seminar.
See, that's what's wrong. That's a funny thing, man. Like, I'm so out of the loop, Jason, like with people, like name dropping of it just doesn't even. I mean, I'm a nerd about the business. I love it. I love the industry, but I feel like sometimes I don't know half the shit that's going on. So when I talk to you guys about stuff like this and I hear, oh, did you hear about this person and that person? I have no idea what the history. That's why I'm so fascinated with it, or just who's doing what out there, you know, where things are coming from. I'm just out of the. I've been doing.
Well, this artist I'm thinking of, if you've never heard of him, you may want to crawl out from underneath whatever rock you're under.
Yeah, I know.
Because he's been a pretty prominent person in the tattoo scene for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. As soon as you said Detroit, I know who you did.
And I'm not saying that there's not actually a whole bunch of different really great artists from that area. I mean, look at Tom Renshaw.
No, but this in particular, everybody.
Yeah, but the person I'm specifically talking about,
especially with what we're about, the light mixed with the.
Yep.
If you're not going to name drop, how are we going to know who you're talking about, or if we even know them?
Well, because I'm not trying to give away like individual people's secrets about their own. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is not a.
Not trying to promote brands that might or might not be endorsed by this channel. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. See, there you go, Jason. Like, I don't even know what is or isn't. So I might be talking out of turn with when I say certain things, and I mean no disrespect. I just have no idea.
Oh no, it's cool. I'm just trying to keep things in line.
Awesome.
That's a lot of things that I hadn't considered before.
Keeping things in line with this crew. Good luck.
Not that we look at boundaries more as like guidelines.
Yeah.
Why do you keep inviting me back, my dude?
You get to wear one of those orange
recipe for a disaster.
Yeah. Well, Medusa, the reason why we keep inviting you back is because you're what I like to refer to as a habitual line stepper.
Oh, like Rick James, habitual line stepper.
You might know where that line is, but you just step right over it out of habit anyway. Which is a good thing. We need that. That shakes things up.
I'll go ahead and mute myself.
But on a side note, guys, it is getting to be about that time. So I am actually going to go through and I'm going to spotlight each of you guys. And it looks like Kyle's still here too. Cool. Kyle, we'll probably start with you. Let me switch this over. And Kyle, I'm going to spotlight you. Go ahead and give us a quick sign off.
Yeah, my name is Kyle Bernstein. You can find me online at Skies of Fire Tattoo if you want to check out all my artwork. And also on the same channel here, Tattoo Collecting 101. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. EST. Check it out.
Awesome. Thank you very much for jumping in today.
Yeah, thank you.
Later,
and Medusa, are you still there?
Hi, I'm Medusa, and I'm sorry. You can find me online at Medusa Slays, at Medusa Slays with 3 S's. At the end on Instagram and medusaslays.com.
Awesome. Thank you. And Seth, we'll move over to you.
My name is Seth Mushrush. You can find me online on Instagram by full name, Seth Mushrush, or my website, SethMushrushArt.com. I currently work in right outside of Philadelphia at Baker Street Tattoo. give us a follow. And I also work at the Gallery Tattoo Studio in Concord, Massachusetts. Also worth a follow. There's a lot of really talented people that work up here as well. So thanks for having me, Jason, and I will see you next week.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for jumping in today, Seth.
No problem.
And my name is Jason Leeser. For those that might not have caught the beginning of this broadcast, you can find me on here every Sunday at 1 p.m. You can also reach me on Instagram at Philly Inc. PhILLYINK. And yeah, if anyone ever has any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to send me a DM. If you're interested in getting tattooed, you can find me at the Inkwell Tattoo in Southampton, Pennsylvania. It's right outside Philadelphia, right off of Street Road. Feel free to stop by, hang out, get tattooed. I'm always taking new clients. My books are never closed, ever. So yeah, hit me up, let me know, and we'll get you in for some awesome tattoos. So on that note, I'm going to remove that, go back to gallery view, and say thank you everyone for joining in today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Take care, and cheers.